My battery's running low.
Yeah. Well, come over here. You're part of this too. We're both the heads of Disability Advocacy Central, are we not?
Yeah.
Hi folks, for this video, Michael is going to be in it because we are both the leaders of Disability Advocacy Central. This group is meant for the purpose of disability advocacy and to help better the lives of people with disabilities. And do you have anything you want to say about the group?
Basically, it's trying to promote views and views about the community.
Positive views.
Positive views of the community.
Yes, and hopefully we can also bring people of all different kinds of disabilities together and help the non-disabled community appreciate us. And please understand, we're not expecting, this is not a case where we expect the non-disabled community to respect us when we don't show any respect in return. I believe very strongly that respect goes both ways.
Yeah. Also, maybe you can volunteer at special events. If you're locally, I'll possibly post stuff. If you wanna know special stuff, you can email her, and she'll email me, and I'll tell you. I'll email her back and tell her when they are.
Why don't you tell these people what your positions in Special Olympics are?
I'm a fellow messenger. I mean, I'm a spokesman for the organization. I started to do speeches, stuff like that. I've been in sports for 30 years. I do like six sports, and I'm also part of the ALPS group in Area 10. We just met yesterday.
And what is ALPS?
It's for people with disabilities. It's a leadership group for special athletes.
And aren't you also a coach now, or assistant coach?
I'm an assistant coach for a track.
Yeah, see, you accomplished all these things recently. I'm very proud of him.
Yeah.
And so if you feel free and want to leave some love, please feel free to congratulate him on his accomplishments. He deserves it. He's come a long way. And so if you have any suggestions for our group, please leave them on my page or message them, and I'll show them to Michael, and it'll be duly noted. And also, I pray you'd volunteer for other disability causes too, like
Best Buddies.
Best Buddies, ARC, Paralympics.
Basically, any disability group, they really need your help, because most of these people, they really want volunteers, because it's not everyone who works for the organization is paid.
So it's non-profit. No one really gets paid.
No, there's a couple people like your boss people get paid, but most of it's volunteer basis.
Okay, so most of it's volunteer basis, so you don't get paid. But so what? It's a chance to make a difference.
Also, if you in my community, if you do a competition one time, usually you'll get addicted. You'll get addicted, and it's sort of fun to see people like me run or swim or play basketball.
But I do want to give a few warnings, because not every disability group is a good one to get involved in. One that I would caution against is Aspies for Freedom. I have Asperger's myself, but I am in disagreement with Aspies for Freedom, because they are sort of trying to outlaw any and all forms of behavioral treatment. And the way I feel about it, if they are grown and can make their own decisions, if they don't want behavioral treatment, then they don't have to receive it. But they don't have the right to decide that for people like me who do want to better themselves, nor do they have the right to decide that for innocent children. and teenagers who might need this help so that they can make a significant difference in society. Am I saying that I agree with Aspie's for freedom, that people should learn to accept us for who we are, but you know what? Acceptance and respect goes both ways, and you cannot fight and you cannot combat hatred with more hatred. And I sort of feel like that's what Aspie's for freedom is trying to do. I like Aspie's for forgiveness a lot better because they believe, like I do, that respect and tolerance go both ways. So I advocate Aspie's for forgiveness myself.
Also, do not back a lot of the
deaf and blind communities.
Don't back them.
Yeah, I mean, it's your choice if you want to back them, but my problem with a lot of the people in the deaf community, not all of them are like this, but there's a lot of people in the deaf community that are sort of trying to legislate their will on everyone else. They think that just because they don't want cochlear implants, that nobody else should get it, and they try to keep their own children from getting it. But that's wrong. They shouldn't be allowed to decide that for a child or a teenager who could, because hearing can have an advantage, you know, in the real world. Sure, deaf people learn how to get around it. I admire them for that, but they shouldn't be legislating their will on everybody else. Those who want the cochlear implants and whatever they can get to help themselves, and however they want to raise their kids, that is their right. If you don't want the cochlear implants, don't get them. But you don't have the right to force others not to get them in the name of preserving a deaf culture. And I have similar sentiments for the blind community and even the wheelchair community. I care about all of you, but when you go so far as to block community buildings and beat police up and all that stuff, that goes too far. Martin Luther King's protests were peaceful. They were beat up, but they never beat up in return. If you want to use Martin Luther King as your role model, then you need to act like him and his people. That means you don't do this extreme stuff you've been doing. So, anyways, do you have anything else you want to add, Michael?
Nope.
Okay, well, that's it. I hope you'll get more involved in Disability Advocacy Central. Just do a search for Disability Advocacy Central on Facebook and you'll find it. And if you have a Facebook account. So, till then, God bless. Love y'all. Bye-bye now.